Now, again, I say this because it's a Friday, it's 5:30, half an hour left of the show. I'm not driving anywhere afterwards, and this is where I indulge in a little bit of wine. For those that watch online might say, is Leah drinking? So I'm just putting it out there that, yes, I've got a little bottle of Chardonnay. It's very nice, Californian. And we're doing this, aren't we, Kellings, to try and get some sponsors for the show, which would be nice.
Yep. It's
a vineyard would be nice, but doesn't have to be.
Hey, anything's good. I need to start drinking. Well, mind you, I've got an hour to drive home from. I've got my bottle of water here. Look.
There you go.
It's not as exciting. That's all right. It's okay.
That's all right. Just setting it up in case you guys are great, but in case someone says, why is Leah drinking? Anyway, Friday Fun Forum. This is where a special guest joins me. We talk about some of the bigger stories, the lighter stories of the week. And this guest is new. He's new to the lineup. Please welcome Simon McKinney, impressionist, comedian, good mate. G'day, Simon.
Hello, how are you? I thought to start with one. I better use my real voice. Hello, Leah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Simon, I don't know if you know your real voice anymore. I mean, you've got such...
Yeah, I've got to be careful I don't do the Peter Sellers thing where I go down a path where you didn't know who he was after a while. But this, I guarantee this is genuinely me. How good to hear you declaring that you're not going anywhere after the show, so you're having a wine. What a wonderful... I didn't think you were going to say it. That's awesome.
Well, I have to, there'll be the odd person that might go, why is Leah drinking on air? Well, because I don't have to go anywhere when I say goodbye at 6. Can I, before we get into these stories, Simon, and Kelly, my producer, when she was talking to you before, she did a bit of a Google of you, a bit of a deep dive, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I was in tears. He is so good." And I went, he's all right. I went, he's all right. No, I said he's fantastic. And so Simon, for Kelly, for my producer, and for our listeners, and for me, can we have a little? Yeah. Can we have like 3, 4, or 5 of your top the voices that you do, just to give us a kind of warm up?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I could take you on a tour around the world if you like. I can go from country to country, but I'll give you some celebs as well too. So,
yes.
I mean, if
you were to go to Australia, they'd sound a little bit like this. If you were to leap over to England, they sound posh like this. Or you get the kind of geezers that always sound like they're going to sell you something what's falling off the back of a lorry, all that kind of thing. You go up to Scotland and they sound like this. And you're getting Billy Connolly as well, too, as a bonus in there, if you like. And we go up to Ireland, where they sound like every leprechaun you've ever heard. And then you go over to France, where they all like this, and you go up to Russia. But we don't like to do Russia too much these days because, go over to America, they talk like this there. Or you go like, Boston kind of thing. Well, no, Boston, I got it wrong. Oh, dear. And then you go down to South Africa, which is not quite down, but over a bit. And then back to New Zealand, which is, well, I'm technically New Zealand, but my
fantastic.
Kind of...
Well done.
Oh,
hey,
well done. And some of the what are the very popular famous people that you do, the voices?
Well, it depends. They come in and out of favour. Like I do. The favourite. I mean, he's still around, so I still do it. But it's still, Sylvester Stallone. He's great because you can get him to say anything you like. And all you have to do is kind of make your face collapse,
That is so...
Sometimes there's like Liam Neeson. He's the one. He's famous for saying, "I have a particular set of skills," and I've got to get right in close to the mic like that, and I can say I have a particular set of skills. One is hula hooping, and the other one I can blow large bubbles with chewing gum, and so you can make them say, "That's what I do in between the corporate gigs and all this carry on." These guys in Auckland get me in to read ads, and they just say, often they would just say, it got so good when I was traipsing around, they'd hand me a script and go, I haven't actually written anything here, but you want to just play with it for a bit? And then I'd go through, I'd do different voices, and different things like that. They'd go, Mickey Mouse, I'd read, like, hey, that one, go back one, and that
Liam
one there.
Liam Neeson is like, that was phenomenal. I mean, literally, that was him. What about, and one more, because my producer, Kelly, said she heard you do this. Did you, the Queen?
Well, it's kind of the Queen, although really it's actually just a very posh English lady. So it's not technically the Queen. But, if you take the caricature of the Queen and do that, it sounds just like that. In fact, she's much more soft-spoken, but there we go. There one goes.
Simon, well done. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. That's brilliant. Kelly's so happy. That is brilliant. Is there, okay, one more, then we'll jump in, I promise. Is there a favourite? Yeah. Is there one that you really love to do?
Well, one that I really like isn't actually. Well, there's celebrities that Christopher Lloyd is a good one there. Hi, Marty. 1.21 gigawatts. I love that because I've actually met him, and it was a weird thing to meet him after doing his voice because he's Back to the Future, he's all these things, and I was doing Armageddon. I was hosting the Comic-Con for New Zealand, and there he was, and I met him, and he got up. And hello, hi, how are you? And I said, good, I'm Simon, I'll be hosting soon. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. And I said, are you all set to go? Yeah, when you are. And he was so much fun to play with because he would pretend that he'd forgotten some films that he'd done, but he hadn't. So people would ask, they go, how did you feel about coming back to Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey? And he'd go, what was that? And everyone would go, oh my God. And then you'd see him grin and go, I remember. Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah.
Do you I could do this for half an hour. We're not even going to get into it very quickly. I think you did this. I think you did this last time I saw you when we were at a barbecue. Did you do John Campbell? Who doesn't do John Campbell? Did you?
Yeah.
Was it you?
Yeah. Yeah, I did, because, John Campbell, he's got a particular way about him where he goes all over the place and he doesn't hesitate to say exactly what's on his mind. And I know John as well, too. And, there was a time when I was reading things at TV4 and John was over the road getting a sandwich. He didn't know the story. This will be, here's this.
Yeah.
And, rushed in and she goes, she was annoyed, she's one of these busy women that was doing stuff, and she's like, oh my God, where is he? And I said, who? She said, John Campbell. John's meant to be here and read this thing. And I said, how badly do you need it read? And she looked at me because, and it would have been so good if he'd come back over with a sandwich to find the voiceover already done,
by Simon McKinney.
Yeah. But he's a good pal, and it's just so fun because he's like that in real life. He's enthusiastic about everything.
Look, I got to admit, I don't like his editorials, but you're the voice. All right, let's move on, Simon. This is our Friday Fun Forum, and we've already gone on for about 10 minutes, but we'll get there. Hey, look, the first story, and it's something close to my heart, and I spoke with Andrew Hoggard, who is the Associate Minister of Agriculture, who also includes animal welfare in his portfolio, about the prolonged tethering or confinement of dogs. And it's been an issue that the SPCA inspectors are dealing with daily. They've wanted the law changed to give them more, that they'll be able to go onto properties and actually do their job better.
Yeah.
And Andrew's saying the right things. He's like, no, I am working on a law change at the moment, but I want to make sure that it's, sound, which it makes sense, because if there's loopholes, people will get round them. I mean, what's your take on tethering or chaining?
It's got to be done, but it's got to be done right. So he's right in the way that it's got to be legislated properly, but it most certainly has to be done, because I'm here in Wellington at the moment. I'm up house sitting. My sister's been away overseas, and I've been. We were talking before, and it was just, there are people in Wellington. There's a group, starts with H. I can't remember quite what they're called, but they're like the SPCA. And that's the one. And when they find dogs in cars, and when they find, there are dogs that are kept in cars for 23 hours a day, and they're guard dogs, so they're ready to bite, but it's just mean. And all they've been able to do so far is say, we would like to take your dog, but they have no legislation to be able to take the dog away, when it should be done. So that one extra step, if it's well legislated, would be well deserving to those poor dogs that get kept in places where they're just, they're pained.
Did you read that? I sent you that story about Casper, the dog?
Yeah. It was horrific. I've got it right here as well too.
The poor dog that was tethered for 5 years and ended up Labrador pit bull cross, left to rot in a backyard, and that was he had tumours from his penile shaft the size of a forearm. He was malnourished, 2 cancerous tumours, and rotting sores. I couldn't read it without crying,
No,
and then I couldn't read it out loud for a couple of times without crying. It was just terrible.
Yeah, it's a shocker because dogs dogs have no say in things here. And when you see a dog that's been in that state there, it melts the heart. I mean, back end, baked and everything, and just, no, there's absolutely no need. So, yeah, bring it on.
Bring it on. All right. Something else that's going to be brought on. St John are about to go into a second round of strike action. They started Thursday, I want to say, Wednesday into Thursday, and they're going to repeat it from 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, round to 4 a.m. on Sunday. This is pretty much over conditions and money, I suppose. And I spoke with the New Zealand Ambulance Association, the NZAA, which is one of the unions, Simon. And my thing is right. Okay, I get it. If the conditions are bad, the money is bad, you want more. But if it's got a siren, should they also be able to strike? And I don't think they should. They are an essential service.
Well, yeah, the way it works is they're striking, but it's going to be that only the most important things get seen to, and the rest of the things, like if somebody falls over and breaks a hip or whatever, you're just going to have to wait, and that's it's annoying. So my take on this is perfectly straightforward, and that is pay them what they want. For God's sake, just give them what they want. They're vital. They haven't got you over a barrel. You pay these people. They do the thing. I know that sounds oversimplistic, but for God's sake, just give them what they need. Give them the cash. I say.
Yeah. He's off. Simon, do you think? I mean, I'll throw this at you because this has come up time and time again that St John should stop being a charity and 100% be government funded. Although recently, up until recently, they've never wanted to give up their charity status fully. But this guy that I was talking to from the NZAA said that apparently they have now said we're quite happy to be government funded 100%. I'm not sure I haven't looked into that. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds like they could be, if they go 100% government funded, they could be obligated to the government, and that would become a problem. So I'd have to look into this as well too, but it seems to me don't be 100% obligated to anybody, so that you can remain impartial and not controlled. Don't control medical. That's the way I'd look at it. Like, stay as it is. Yeah, get more cash.
I get it.